Welcome to the show. I am your host, Joey Wobbs. That is Mr. Link, and welcome to WabbsLink. This is episode 35.
35.
We've nearly done an entire season, Link.
Bro. Never
We've
thought it
nearly
happened.
done an entire season, my G.
It's the consistency for me, man.
Yeah, we've done it every week. I think for 34 weeks, pretty much, we've done that almost every week. I think we started week 3.
Think so.
Because it was the first game. That was our first game.
Yeah.
So
We made it.
Yeah, we made it, bro. Almost to my favorite part of the year, the transfer window, where I always seem to look very right in this part of the year. I always look very right. I always sound very right. The things I say get thrown out the window, be told I'm an idiot, and then end up being fucking spot on.
Wob Sport ITK.
You know it. Anyways, I'm gonna speak quickly on last week's games. We'll speak quickly on last week's games. Then we'll get into this week's games. My game for tomorrow, and we won't really speak too much with your game against Brighton. But we'll get
a game tomorrow.
Yeah.
You guys play tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize that until today.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Go carried away.
So, we'll speak on what we're going to speak mostly for you. We're going to speak on transfer news because I've never seen Liverpool have so much transfer news in my entire life. Like, so much transfer news. We'll speak a little bit on the transfer news that I think is going on with us. And we'll call it a show. So, we lost 2-0 to Newcastle. Obviously, like, I thought we would be able to win that game. I went back and rewatched the first half because I was not going to watch it at the time it was at.
Mm-hmm.
I went out the night before. Like, I wasn't going to fucking stay and wake up early to go to watch a game at 4 a.m. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
No shot.
And I went out the night before, literally. Like, I was out.
So and I wouldn't have gone to sleep.
Yeah. No, I didn't go to sleep until 3. Like,
you should have stayed up and watched the game.
I was not staying up, though, bro. Like, this shit was just not happening, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? This shit was not happening.
You played some FM for an hour, bro, and been ready.
Big up to the chat. Big up to the chat every single time. I didn't even play my welcome video. So here's the welcome. Welcome. All right. Yeah.
Hey, welcome. But chat, what do you say? He should have stayed up, if he was really proper Chelsea.
Yeah.
I can't even say that without laughing. If he
was really... honestly, Link, I'm not even gonna front. It was probably one of my favorite DJs period. One of my favorite DJs. He was in Phoenix that night and was like, there was no way we went and hung out with him at the after parties afterwards. I could only stay at the after parties until 3. That's like in my body.
Like, I gotta go.
Yeah, in my body, I was like, I could not. He's one of my favorite DJs. UK DJ, one UK, one English, and they came together and made like a combo DJ group. Dope. It was so much fun. I had mad fucking fun on Saturday. Like, so much fucking fun. All right. Anyways,
there you go.
To this Newcastle game, I ended up rewatching the first half, and I was disgusted. I was disgusted. Like I just couldn't see why we were struggling so much. Like, it didn't make sense why we were struggling so much. And then it came to me, and Robert Sanchez just did not want to pass the ball through the lines in that game. Like, in a lot of games, he would. But in that game, he would rather get it long than make the mistake. And that's what it looked like, especially in the first half. Like, in the second half, he was more willing to pass the ball through the lines, and that's why we looked so much better. But with the way that what he was doing, like going long consistently, was literally him panicking. Like, it was football. It was, and you're going to Nico Jackson, and we were getting bullied the entire fucking back. And they got 3 center backs back there, by the way. It's not like they played 3 center backs. Shar, Botman, and Byrne. And you're going long?
With the guy that's not good in the air.
Yeah, and then he does that stupid shit that he does. Regardless, that shit is selfish as fuck. It's a selfish-ass move. You look at dude and you spun with your elbow, bro. Like a UFC fighter would have been proud of you.
Yeah.
Like literally, a UFC fighter would have been proud. You lined that bitch up and you spun and you got caught that motherfucker.
Extended with the forearm and everything. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Like what? Like what are we talking about here, bro? Like, why are you being a dumbass? Like it's literally, to me, selfishness. Like, you are being selfish in that moment. You are being selfish. Like, you are struggling and you're being selfish.
Yeah, that's definitely selfish.
You are struggling
100%.
And you are being selfish. Like, you are the only striker we have on this roster. And you are the only of-age striker we have on this roster. You are the only healthy striker we have on this roster. And you decide to do that? You are the guy we gave another contract to, and you decide to do that? You're the guy that we are going to buy a backup to. Now we've got to replace you for sure. Like, what are you talking about? He has a terrible, not for nothing, but he has a terrible record of yellow cards. Terrible. I haven't seen a striker get this much dissent since Diego Costa, and your play doesn't fucking
warrant that. You can't warrant it. Yeah.
Your play does not warrant the type of actions that you put on the pitch. It's period. I can deal with a guy who's scoring goals and doing that. I can deal with it. I'll deal with it. I will deal with it.
They call it an edge, striker's edge.
Bro,
he's got a nasty streak.
But if you're gonna do that, when you're the only guy, you are the person we are relying upon for these last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that? The game was never out of reach, by the way.
No.
We could have tied that ball game. We could have tied that ball game a man down. We played really well in that second half.
I feel like they sat back too. I feel like they understood that they were a man up and they kind of coasted.
Yeah, but we still. I mean, that doesn't.
Not to take away from you, it's more of me like sliding Newcastle because it's like I don't think they could have killed that game off, and I feel like they were just like, all right, let's.
And bro, I am tired of Newcastle. I am tired of the way that they get reffed in that stadium, just like the way that you guys get reffed in your stadium. I'm tired.
Oh, I'm not
tired. I am tired of the way that they get reffed in that stadium. I am actually tired of it. Because I watched that game and I'm sitting there like, yo, can we get a fucking whistle? One. Every time they get a whistle, you just hear the crowd right before. Yeah. You just hear the crowd. And the crowd is like, it's like the crowd's refereeing the game at that point. Literally. Because it's like the referee's not seeing anything. He's just hearing what the crowd's saying.
Yeah, egregious.
It's literally like.
I don't like that you said that was about Liverpool as well, but I understand what you're saying.
I mean, Liverpool in that when it is a meaningful game at Anfield, your crowd can get involved and dictate the way that referee can go.
Yeah, no, I hear it.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm tired of that shit, personally. Our crowd sucks, so we don't get that shit. Sorry, Chelsea fans. You guys suck. You guys won't cheer for nobody. You only cheer when they score. I hear the banging on the rails when we score.
It's because you guys sold Gallagher.
Bro, I get consistent chanting from a football team that can only hold 1,000 people in their stadium here in my local club, here in Phoenix. My local club in Phoenix consistently chants more than
what's
this
that?
club.
Phoenix Rising?
Correct.
Hey, shout out SAFC. Shout out San Antonio FC. What you know about that?
I don't know shit about that fucking league.
USL, baby.
I just watch them. I just go to the games because they're
go.
cheap, and I enjoy what I actually enjoy the type of football they try to play. So
I like how you stress try, but yeah, not here. Yeah.
But yeah.
But back to shitting on Nico. Please continue.
Yeah, well, like I'm just like, this team is screaming for a guy. This team is screaming for a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you told me there's one team out in world football that needs a striker more than Chelsea, I would really like to see who it is. Nah, you can't tell me that. You have goal scorers in other places.
You got Cole Palmer.
Yeah, but you have more than just one player.
But Palmer's up for young player of the year.
Who cares? What does that have to do with anything?
I'm being foolish.
I
No,
know
you're
you
right.
try to troll with me. I mean, Link, you can do the whole try to troll like I'm Don thing, but it doesn't work. I'm not Don.
No, I'm Don today. I'm Don today. Okay, I have the Don CFC.
Yeah, I know. I get
LFC cap today. We'll get there.
To be honest, though, like, as much as I'm disappointed in the way that in Nico Jackson, I am not disappointed in the way that Levi Colwell played.
It's good that you said that, and I know you have more players you want to get onto, but just wanted to say, and overall, this is one of those games where you can take moral victories from, because the performance when you went down to 10 men was admirable. It's just
I like what
unfortunate
Neto did the entire game. I like what Neto did the entire game after literally the entire game.
He really tried. I know it's not
the entire game. When I know that Lavia made mistakes for the first goal. Like, it was his mistake that caused that first goal. Like, he was the one that caused that first goal. His mental error caused the first goal. But I like the way he played for the rest of the game. I like the way that Enzo Fernandez played for the rest of the game. But some of these guys need to put the ball in the fucking back of the net. Like, some of these guys need to put the ball in the back of the net. Like, and that's why if you ask me, like, is there another football club that needs a striker more than Chelsea? I'm telling you, there is not another football club in world football that needs a striker more than Chelsea. We are the most desperate team that needs a striker in all of football. And the problem is nobody wants to admit it at the club. That's the fucking problem. Nobody wants to admit that this position is the most necessary position for this club at this current moment.
More than a center back?
Yeah. Yeah. Because at least we got 5 of them bitches.
How many strikers do you have, including loanees, including hot academy prospects? How many strikers do you have?
Like academy prospects we could actually play?
That you would have some type of loose hope for. Like, I know there's Huey, there's and there's Jackson, but who else is there that's in the system?
Broya is the only one that's on loan. Broya is the only one that's on loan.
Who's Tyreek George?
Winger.
Winger, okay. So you have 3 strikers in the entire system. Strasbourg, everything.
Well, Strasbourg is a whole different entity. We technically have to buy from them.
Right, but but we know how
they got 4 strikers at Strasbourg, bro.
So that, I mean, essentially you have access to 4 strikers because the deal will be favorable regardless.
100%.
Like, it has to be market value, of course.
You understand, like, if Newcastle came in for a mega right now, like the Strasbourg striker a mega. And this is why in January I was screaming for it, right? Just even if it's a mega, go get a mega, get Strasbourg another young kid, and then we'll be fine. We'll be good for the rest of the season at least with a mega in the squad. Like at least in the squad, right? That's why I was screaming for it in January. Even if you're not going to get anyone, at least go get the kid that's Strasbourg that's scored 8 goals already.
Mm-hmm.
Now at 15, by the way.
Jesus.
And I'm supposed to believe I should need to go get Balak when this kid's just sitting in my farm system. Who Newcastle would spend 40 to 50 million on. We could do a Savio deal for 20.
I hear it.
Like this is my point. This is all you're getting to a point now. You're getting to a point where you are being negligent. You have been negligent to this team. You
Not the N-word.
Hey. They neglected this team, bro. Let me give you an answer. Let me give you why I know that. Strasbourg went and needed a left back this January. You know who they went and got? This one of the best young left backs you can get in all of goddamn the world. Valentino Barco was one of the highest, youngest rated left backs in the entire world. That's why Brighton bought him. That's why Brighton bought him originally. They went and filled that. They filled the need. He played the entire second half of the season. He filled in that midfield. That's how good he is. They went and they took care of Strasbourg. That's why Strasbourg's getting a European spot this year. They took care of him. They took care of Strasbourg more than they took care of our football club.
Let me ask you a question. That hopefully a follow-up question. Are the sporting directors the same? Forgive me for not knowing this.
Correct. Yep.
You're the same sporting directors.
Correct.
Okay.
Mark Keller's just the president. That's the only difference.
Okay. All right. So you have the same sporting directors. You're getting a different profile of targets between each club, but you have needs that the other club seems to fill better than the needs that you guys have.
Correct.
My thing is, do you think that they don't view Strasbourg as a feeder club in the sense of trying to make Chelsea the best team in the world? And do you think they look at it as,
I don't know. It's too
I
early
want to have multiple successful clubs regardless, and I just want to acquire the best assets I can?
It's 2 years in. I couldn't tell you.
That's a problem. And I know that's nothing you could do about it, but that is a problem because you would hope that.
Let me answer the question from where I understand it. Okay, the way I understand it. Okay, they're supposed to be a feeder club. They've been buying players as if they are a feeder club. Okay,
right.
The way that they've been built. Okay, their manager though has overperformed expectations in that league by tenfold.
Okay.
Like that's the difference right now. Like that manager, nobody expected them to pull off what he pulled off this year.
Can you name drop him for me? So
Liam Rossinier.
Give your boy respect. Thank you. All right, cool. Okay.
Nobody thought he was going to do what he did this year.
Shout out Rossinier.
He's been one of the best up and coming managers this year. From the way that he's managed that club, he's managed a bunch of 19 to 20-year-olds. There's not a single guy on that team that's over 25. It's one of the youngest squads in the entire league. In all of Europe is my guess. Like they have nobody over the age of 25. It's Vibes FC over there. When I say it's Vibes FC, you should see their videos from post game. They're all sitting there dancing. Like it is a game. They are having fun, bro. I'm telling you, those guys are having fun.
Okay.
Like this is I couldn't tell you. That team is Vibes FC. They have fun. They are having fun over there. Bakwa right now worth 40 million in Europe, 30 to 40 million in Europe. Right now.
So it's almost like you guys have first refusal on talent, but the goal is to acquire and develop talent regardless of where they're developing.
Yeah, exactly. And now that they're in Europe, they have access to talent that they probably didn't think that they would have access to for another few years.
Right. So I'm being foolish, but do you see any possibility of Strasbourg having a better team? Not a better team, having a better 11 than Chelsea in the next 3 years?
No, because we
Okay.
always give them their best players that right now. Oh, their best player is Andre.
So Andre is a full Chelsea player loaned to
He's a
Strasbourg.
Chelsea player. He's just on loan.
Okay, question. How many
And he'll
Chelsea
always
players?
take pieces. So, like, Omega right now is probably their best player, third or fourth best player, I would say. And we got first right to be able to buy him. And we probably will get him. Like, Omega
But
will be a part of this team next year.
you have first right to all those players. But
Yeah.
so my next question is, how many players do you have the rights to that you've loaned out to Strasbourg right now on the current roster?
It was 3, but I think there's only 2 now.
Who were the 3 and who is the 2?
It was Caleb Wiley,
Okay, I've
Petrovic,
heard that
and
name.
Santos.
Petrovic was the goalie, but you brought Petrovic back, so now it's Wiley
We're
and
gonna
Santos.
bring Petrovic back.
Okay.
And Wiley's at Watford right now. And he probably will
Okay.
stay at Watford for another year since he's at an English club. It doesn't count towards a loan.
Okay. So
Nah, Sar, we
that's
actually have
weird.
not bought him yet at Kunle. It's actually, that is a fault. People who reported that did not know what they were talking about. We have not bought Sar yet. People don't know what they're talking about. It's something that we can pull the trigger on whenever we want. And it was meant to happen, but it's not done. I'm telling you that right now. It's not done. We have not bought Sar yet. Exactly. It was just a pre-agreement. We can always pull out of it whenever we want. And I'm sure now that because I don't know if they expected. I think the thing is I don't, even after we got them in January, because they were out of the top 6. I think they were at like 8th or 9th place in January. But I told people though, the way they're playing football right now, they'll get into a European spot. I told people that in January. They're 5 points off relegation or some shit like that. I was like, okay, watch. I said, I do this shit on Lewis's channel all the time. I tell people things, they come to fruition, and then I gotta go on Lewis's channel and be like, yo, who told you Strasbourg was gonna be in the European spot this year? But they didn't expect, like, Chelsea didn't expect Sar and Strasbourg to be in this spot in January. We got the pre-agreement done in January. That's it. We pull out of the pre-agreement. He stays at Strasbourg. He develops at Strasbourg playing European football. It's that simple. And there's players on our team right now like Diarra, Sila, and there's one other between midfielder. They're Premier League teams that want these guys. Decore is the other one. 2 center backs and a DM. There's Premier League teams that want these guys. 30 around 30 million per player. That's what they spend for these French players. These 30 to 40 million is what they go for when they're playing well in that league and they get bought by a Premier League team. Like this whole Strasbourg thing, I don't think is like an issue for Chelsea, but to me, they just keep on ignoring the necessities of this club. They just keep on ignoring it. They kept on pushing it off. And here we are, overloaded at goalie, and we don't know who's going to be number 1. No strikers.
None available.
Well, Mark Hugh got his first team trading today, so we might see him off the bench. He's been in personal training for like the last week. He got his first team training, so we might see you off the bench.
Okay.
If we score a goal early, though, I think that game's over tomorrow. That's all it'll take.
Who do you play tomorrow?
Man, you.
They're not playing anyone.
Yeah, they're not going to play anyone. They're not going to, and because they got the European final on that Wednesday or something like that, or Thursday.
Is that next Wednesday?
Yeah, next week.
That's so weird.
Yeah, they're not going to play nobody.
Nope, they can't afford to.
They've already got injuries. I don't think
Facts.
we'll 2-goal lead. But I think we'll get a 2-goal lead is the thing. I just think we need to score early.
Is Jackson out for the rest of the season?
He'll be available for the Conference League final.
No, but as far as suspension, the Premier League, is it 3 games, 4 games?
Mhm.
Okay.
If he's still on the squad, God willing, he's not. He'll be suspended for the first game of next year as well.
Facts. Do you see a scenario where you would get Strasbourg to sell you a player for fair value, and then you would try to sell him for more money within 6 months of that transfer from your club from Strasbourg? Is that legal is another question.
All right. So the legality of it is that it is possible. Okay. The only way that it is possible technically is if they do not play for Strasbourg in that year. Because you
can't play for 3 clubs, right?
Yeah, you're only allowed to play for 2 clubs in a year, in a single football calendar year.
Okay.
So, like, it is possible, but you would have to technically buy the player. I mean, technically, technically you could buy that player in that same window and sell him in that same window to another team.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys need to look into that.
If there's ever, I believe, Link, to be honest, what I do believe, if there is ever a scenario of that manner where PSR does come into play again, where we need to get out of some reason a PSR situation, I think that I don't think that we will be in such a bad. Where the type of assets that we're accruing in the development that's happening under this manager at this club, and I'm speaking on Strasbourg, the assets that they're accruing there, it's just growing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like all these young kids are just growing and they're all playing really well for the most part. I mean, they got some ballers over there, man. There's a lot. I mean, if Strasbourg was in Europa right now, like Europa right now, I think they could make a final. That's how good I think that team is. It's a balanced.
We get it, bro. You like Bluco.
No, it's a balanced team. I don't like.
No, I'm kidding.
It's Strasbourg. I like the way that he's built that Strasbourg team.
You like the way Strasbourg play more than Chelsea.
Yeah, they're more direct. They're more direct. They hit you on the counter really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
When they want to play possession-based football, they have shooters in different areas. That's just really what it comes down to. Like, I don't know if you've seen the goal of the season nominee in League One that Andre Santos hit, but there hasn't been a player on our team that's hit one like that yet.
Yeah, that's not saying much, though.
What are you saying? That was a cracker. And this kid Andre Santos also is a aerial threat in the box.
Who was the goal against?
I don't know, bro.
What month was it? Give me something. I'm YouTubing it. That's why I asked.
Just do Andre Santos goal of the month nominee or goal of the year nominee. It's not goal of the month. It's goal of the year in League One.
I will do that. Apparently my Wi-Fi's down.
So we can speak on the game, your game against Arsenal if you want.
Do you want to? I can make it short and sweet.
Do you want to?
Yo, we got that guard of honor because Arsenal are trash. Arsenal said they were going to do this, that, and the third. Liverpool didn't play anyone. We still haven't played anyone. Arsenal left Rice on the bench because they didn't want him to have his, leadership mentality dashed because he was giving us the guard of honor. Trent's a bum. You can't tell Liverpool fans how to act. I think Slot did it on purpose, personally, to show a public example of what happens. And I think it also costs us the 3 points, but luckily that game does not matter at all. So I'm glad it's over. I want the season to be over. I'm ready for transfers. But yeah, there's only one Connor Bradley.
And here comes Frimpong, and we'll talk about that here in a second.
Yeah.
We can talk about here. Actually, yeah, we can talk about that here now because I mean, with this whole Manchester United game, we just got to score early, bro. You score early, you kill this game. You will kill this game very early if you score early.
And you're obviously a better side. I know you guys have previous history there of not necessarily playing well, but you're the better side.
Yeah, we're at home.
You have more. Playing them, I should say.
Yeah,
you're the better side. You have more to play for. Man U has nothing to play for, and they're rotating their side. So
exactly.
It should be
the situation
really straightforward. Yeah.
And then get some Q minutes in there so he can be ready for Forest, and that's all I can say about that.
Yeah. It all comes down to Forest.
Yeah,
it all comes down to Forest. So
yeah, if we just win this game, then make it a must-win game against Forest, and then we're in. And then we could talk about. I'll talk about my links first because I don't have that many of them, and then I only have one thing to say. To be honest,
say it.
We back, baby. Fucking back. We fucking back, baby.
What do you mean we're back?
We're back. The tin hat is back. The tin hat is back. My OG viewers and my OG viewers know. My OG viewers know, son. You know what? You guys know what this means. My OG viewers, the guys that have been here since last year, around this time when I started this goddamn channel, you guys know what this means. Okay? You guys know what this means. There's only one number 9 that I've wanted throughout this entire existence of this channel. One 9. The guy that dominated Turkey this year. 1-9. And yes, I'm ready. And yes, as Montz would say, I'm ready to be hurt again. I'm ready to be hurt again.
He said it. I'm ready to be hurt again.
I am ready to be hurt again.
Hey, bro, It gets like that.
So, hey, bring me the striker that I've been wanting for fucking 2 years. Okay? There's one guy, Victor Osimhen. Okay?
Who?
One guy that
I've never heard of him.
One guy that I believe would change the outlook of the way teams would defend us, the way teams would act about us. One guy. I'm ready to be hurt again. Get this Champions League so I don't have to be hurt. That's all it says. Bro, the link.
Does he look good in blue? I don't know.
The link has not gone away.
Does he look good in blue? I don't know.
The link has not gone away, bro. All I'm saying, you sell Nico Jackson, highest bidder to whoever the fuck you want. Okay? Get a mega for the low, that cheapo deal. You know what I'm saying? That good, whatever it says on fucking Football Marketplace, like, deal. You go on fucking Football Manager and you look up what the price is and you give them the low end deal. Like, that type of deal. All right?
Yeah.
Fair market value, whatever the fuck that is. Probably around 22 million, something like that. 25 million, something like that.
For what? What?
For a mega.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, for a mega, it'd be about 25 million.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be hurt again. I'm willing to be hurt again.
As much as I'm doing the whole I'm rooting for Chelsea. Think I really don't need you guys getting Osimhen. Like this would ruin the show for me. I can't have you getting Osimhen. Then
Yeah. Do you see that reaction? Do you see that reaction?
I would turn heel
That's
so fast.
the reaction I'm looking for. Do you see people, chat? Most of you guys are my Chelsea fans. I know that. But chat, you see that reaction?
Don't look at me.
Do you see that reaction? That's what we would do. That's what would happen if we get this guy. People would be scared of us again. That's all I have to say. I hope he doesn't go to Saudi Arabia. That's all I
would love him to go to Saudi. I think that would be the best move.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't, but that's all I can really say, man.
Hey, man, generational wealth comes once in a lifetime. Get your bag, man.
What are you talking about? This guy he could get a 5-year deal from us. In 3 years, he'll have that same fucking bag in Saudi Arabia waiting for him.
Or he could have 8 years of that bag.
No, because he has to wait 2 years for that bag regardless.
Hey, man. Hey, I know
guy
I would
250 and shut the fuck up. Like selling Cuckoo, sell Nico Jackson. Give this guy the fucking right 250 and shut the fuck up. That's all I gotta say. Like I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. Seriously, I'm tired of this. Stop doing this fucking okie dokie shit. Give him the 250 and shut the fuck up. We have one guy, by the way. If you look at the top 20 players in the Premier League and wages, we have one guy in that wage bracket, by the way. One guy. One guy. We have one guy in the top 20. Reece James. One guy.
Is Chilwell still on your books?
Yeah, but he's still lower than fucking what everybody else is getting.
There's no way.
Arsenal has 5 guys on that list. You guys have 3. City has 8, 7 or 8.
Who are our 3?
Salah. I think it's Allison.
Allison's not on 300 a week.
It doesn't have to be 300 a week.
I'm trying to think of. It's like what's the lowest on there?
220 or something like that? 230?
Yeah, I guess it sounds.
Sterling, we could buy Sterling's fucking contract out this year. He only got 1 year left, bro.
You won't do it though.
We could. Why not? We can send Sancho back. Why wouldn't we send him shit?
Obviously you still own Sterling, but it is jokes that Sterling is rotting away on Arsenal's bench and you guys own him. It is fucking hilarious. He is rotting away.
And they're paying for most of him right now. So when we give a fuck.
It is too funny.
Yeah, but you could get rid of these contracts. Chilwell, 1 year left. Sterling, 1 year left. You can get rid of these contracts. They're not contracts that are untradeable. You can give someone Chilwell and Sterling for 10, 15 million apiece, and it wouldn't mean shit. Literally. A newly promoted team. Let me ask you something. You don't think, I ask you this. You don't think Wrexham coming up into the championship wouldn't take a shot on Sterling?
No, they wouldn't.
They would pay him. You're fucking drunk. They would pay him. What are you talking about? They're going to get Tom Carney from Fulham for free and give him fucking
50. 50.
No? 50.
Sterling. It's Sterling. Sterling's not taking 50 a week, bro.
He'll take 100.
Exactly. Wrexham's not paying Sterling 100 a week.
That's my point. They would.
No, they wouldn't.
Going into the championship, I bet you they would.
They wouldn't. That's not sustainable, brother. I promise you. That Joey, 100 a week in the championship for Sterling is literally bad business. And you know it.
You can bro, we could loan him there. For his final year of his contract and have him pay
a third of it. What is Sterling on? 250? 300. He's on 3, exactly. So if they pay a third of his wages and then they have the break from it. Yeah, but not if they own the rights to the player. Fuck that, because then they'd be locked into it. He's only going to get worse.
In the championship,
Bro, it's Sterling.
Bro, he puts everybody in the championship. That's his level.
No, but the service he's getting.
Arsenal, when he plays against, that's the only teams he scored against was fucking championship teams. That's all for us. It's who he scores against. For Arsenal, when he plays, he scores against championship teams. He'd be
but that's
the championship.
But the quality of the player getting him the ball will also go down. That's my point.
To the level of what the championship is, he'll be fine, bro. And yeah, I'm sure we could get him to like a Turkey or something like that. I think Chilwell is a realistic target for like up and coming like a team that's coming up, like a Leeds or something like that.
Leeds is trying to buy Kelleher.
I can see that.
Who else? Oh, we're still waiting for the playoffs to finish. It'll be interesting to see who gets promoted along with Leeds. Who was the other team?
Sunderland's in the championship, and I forget who the team is.
Do you think Briggs gets bought?
He has to be. He has to be. Riggs is like, if he doesn't get bought, he'll get bought on the way back when they go back.
So you're saying he'll do a dibbling?
Yeah, something like that.
You know, if I was him and I was his team, I would get that in the contract. Like, yeah, I'll stay for the year, but if we don't stay up, I'm out for cheap, or I'm out for my market value now.
Yeah, they have relegation clauses in most of these contracts
when
they re-sign them. I think he will stay though, unless Man U tries to pull the trigger on him. Like that's the only other team I could see that him. If Dougie Freeman was still at Palace, that's where he would be going.
100%.
Like if Dougie Freeman was still at Palace, he would be going to Palace. Like I could tell you that for free. Like, but.
Isn't Dougie going to Saudi?
I think you're right, bro. I think you're right. Morning Zombie, we're going to get there, bro. We're going to get there, bro. We're going to get there.
What's he want to talk about? What does he want to talk about?
I know you know what he wants to talk about. So.
That stuff. Oh.
Yeah. So I think
can't even see the comments.
This is exactly it, bro. This is exactly it. We'll pay him, bro, because he'll be at 250. At 250, bro, he'll be right around what everybody else is getting paid, bro. The entire team's gonna be around 200 if we get Champions League. The entire team. Enzo Fernandez will be closer to like 220 if we get fucking Champions League. Same with Caicedo, and I'm sure Caicedo's getting a pay bump this year. So.
You better give Caicedo a pay bump.
The teams are that the problem is these other teams that are making deals are already in Champions League, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference, and that's it. That's the major difference.
I think it's the major difference, and it's also the nature of where your business is. Like everyone's talking about, oh, well, there's transfers happening. These are just negotiations, almost pre-contracts from English clubs and other clubs outside of the Prem. Notice that none of these Premier League deals are going to get done because the window won't open yet, and negotiations aren't allowed to happen before the season's over.
Yeah, until June 1st.
Exactly. So you won't see a lot of these clubs that are doing domestic moves trying to acquire players.
All right, Link. The Premier League. Let's get the fucking cat out of the bag. All right.
Which one?
All right. So we're gonna talk about the window that you have coming up. So we could talk. I'm gonna bring up some players. I'm gonna just you can kind of tell me what your feelings are about them and
which players.
I'm gonna bring them up, bro. We'll go one by one. Chill out.
I'm just excited, man. I don't get.
And I'm telling you, chill out.
Like this.
Okay.
Oh, you can't give Liverpool options like this.
No, I'm giving you some options. Okay, so obviously the one that Ornstein and everybody's really excited about is Florian Wirtz.
Myself.
I'm gonna go first about how I feel about the player, and then you can kind of speak about it. Florian, honestly, if he goes to your team, bro, you probably go back to back. you probably go back to back. If you get Florian, you probably go back to back. Like that's how serious I am about that signing. Like, and honestly, I think we're pretty well suited to still play against you overall, as long as if we were to get Osimhen and you were to get Verts, like I would still have you as like the favorites. And even if Arsenal got Gyökeres, let's just say like that's how it all plays out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would still say you would be the what one to win the league. That's what literally. If it was like to say Wirtz and Hugo, which I don't know if that's even feasible with how much Wirtz is going to be cost and how much Hugo is going to cost. Maybe it is, but because like if you did a Wirtz, Hugo, and Frimpong and Kirk's like window, like let's just say that's the window, you're looking at close to like 300 million.
Yeah.
So
that you named 4, right?
That would be 4, yeah. And I still think you probably want one more on top of all.
We do.
So I don't know if you do all of those moves. And I don't know how serious you guys are like about Verts or how serious Verts is about you. But both those deals are very expensive deals. Like they're both around 80 million, like Verts and Hugo.
Yeah, they are expensive, but I think the big thing, and you're already seeing this with the Frimpong news, is the structure of the deal. I think that will play a big importance. I think the exits, the possible exits that we have on the books, will give us a really inflated transfer budget as far as PSR is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be interesting to see because, again, we've talked about this numerous weeks now. If Nunes goes to Saudi or if Jota goes to Saudi.
But I think that's what it's going to take, right? I think one of those would have to go to Saudi for both these deals to be able to go through.
But that's why, I mean, I think Nunes is gone.
Right. I agree with you on that matter, but this is what I actually hope he goes to Saudi. That makes it more realistic that we would be able to get Osimhen if he went to Saudi.
Right. It does help everyone out. But I almost forgot about it today, but Chiesa's leaving. So like as much as I'm happy to be active in the window, we need these changes regardless.
And I don't know if Diaz is a move you want to make, to be honest.
Diaz isn't necessarily the move.
Diaz. Like Diaz, to me, like Diaz is he's so interchangeable for you at this current moment. Like he was a right winger for Porto. He played left wing for you. He played striker for you.
He played right wing for us.
He's played all 3. Salah goes on AFCON this year. He's gonna probably play right wing for you guys. Like that's one you have to pay him though. That's the problem.
That's the thing, and that's why
you have to pay the guy. He's worth more than $50K a week. Like that's
exactly.
Just put it in perspective. He's worth more.
That's why I keep saying Diaz, because he's the one that's, other than the obvious sale in Darwin, he's the one that's most likely to move because of the contract that he's in.
Yeah.
Like he has a very easy contract to move. So anywhere he goes, he's going to get a pay raise.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I thought of Diaz. But if you're thinking about the squad for next year, he's probably our backup striker, if he's not one of our backup right wingers as well. So
he's a backup for each position, really.
Exactly. So keeping Diaz, really helps with versatility. And it's one of those things where, as much as we're talking about these marquee signings, it's still Liverpool. Our MO is to buy players that cost 40 and 50 mil. Liverpool would try to save money and be efficient where they can when it comes to recruitment. So we have to keep that in mind. Yes, it's nice to see strong links, but there has to be some pragmatism.
Here's the other thing.
When assessing things.
Here's the other thing.
Yeah, talk to me.
Your play, where your team, your scouting and recruitment department like to go back to old links.
Don't say his name.
Just saying.
You are. Don't.
I mean,
You want to talk about
know where I'm
balloons?
going with this.
You want
If
to talk
you
about
lose
balloons?
Wirtz, let's just say you with City get Wirtz.
Yeah.
You're probably going in for Nkuku or Cherky. That's probably what's going to end up happening.
It's going to be Turkey because you're going to price us out of the move. Or
I don't
someone,
think so.
no,
I don't think
a
so.
party. I don't think, let me not say that.
Because
you
I
go.
think we're going to want 50. Like 50.
50's not bad. It's the wages. We're not paying Nkunku more than 200.
He's already, that's what you just be getting the same contract he's on right now.
Exactly. And I don't think he
At
takes
190.
that.
He's on 190.
The problem with Nkunku is that if you're going off historical data and if you're talking about 3-year averages, you can make the argument that Nkunku checks a lot of boxes in what we would like in an attacker.
Yeah.
But when you're being realistic, you're thinking about Leipzig and Nkunku.
I don't think to me I still think you're talking about a player that just hasn't had a run of games in the right place. That's what we're talking about here.
Right. But are we saying that we're going to make Nkunku our next Gravenberch?
I mean,
is Nkunku leading my line? Is that really what we're talking about? Because like I'm not
I don't
against
think
it.
it's. I think it, but you asked me this question, right?
Yeah.
If you ask me, Nkunku, if it would be Nkunku leading your line, I'd say no. I'd say Nkunku and Szoboszlai are back to competing again. That's what I would say, because I still think you would get Hugo. Like, I still think there's a marquee signing involved. I believe it's Hugo, and then you'd still get a 10. Like,
Hugo
10
isn't
that
the mark.
play across the line really is what you're trying to get. And to be honest, the correct player if you don't get Wirtz is Xavi Simons. Like, that's who you should go and try to get. Like, that would be the correct player because he can play all three positions. But you're in essence doing this. You're in essence just getting the new version. You're just getting the new version.
Exactly.
You're just getting the new version because you're just getting the version that just is playing at Leipzig right now.
The Dutch 2 years younger version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Exactly.
Literally. So I mean, if you get Turkey, bro, like, there's some building that you're gonna have to do. Like, I don't know if you could play Turkey and Salah on the same lineup. Like, that's
I don't see that. That's my problem.
I just don't. That is
Who is doing that running. And so you said those two, and I don't want to cut your point off. Add McAllister to that because McAllister works hard.
You have zero type of athleticism. Like, going backwards is what I'm saying. Forward, exactly. You might score 5 goals, but like, yeah. But like going back, you might concede 3. Like, Zach Van Dijk.
Exactly. Exactly.
Ireland, like that's
we might have a couple of Puskas nominees, but no Golden Gloves.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, fuck. Is Alisson gonna stay? Like,
he's got 1 more year. I think Salah and Van Dijk staying really helped things.
Yeah, I can see that actually.
I mean, because people forget that they played together at Roma. So like Salah and Alisson have been together for a decade now.
Yeah.
So, and then his captain, the center back. So I think that was really important. But it's interesting to see Kelleher's basically gone. I know Leeds is looking at Kelleher. That would be nice money, homegrown, pure profit. So that'd be cool. But yeah, I don't know what we're doing next year, or not next year, the season after, as far as goalie, because
Georgie.
Well, yeah, but Georgie's going to be a backup next year, and so like, do we
wonder how that plays out, bro?
Exactly, because like, do we say to Georgie and to Alisson, okay, well, Georgie's only going to be a backup for a year, regardless.
You're gonna have to pull the Courtois check situation.
Which I wouldn't necessarily want to do because Alisson's what, 33, 32?
Yeah, Czech was about 35 at the time, 36.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You get another 3 years, and it's good to future plan, but I guess there's an emotional tie to Allison.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to sell the best goalie in the world just because I know he's getting older. But then you have a Bayern Munich situation, so it's tough. It's tough.
I can't believe we didn't buy that guy.
Which guy?
Georgie. He's
Oh,
what
yeah,
wanted goalkeeper.
dude. I know. Oh, you guys, yeah. Joey, it meant nothing for this season, but the fact that I got a target that was a Chelsea target, that was like a year. You know, because it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen enough, man.
And you catch us once in a while, bro.
Every
Once
once
in
in
a
a
while.
while. But yeah, I'm so happy because Liverpool doesn't have transfer links like this. It's always monitoring this, you know.
I mean, I wouldn't get that excited about it, but like,
No.
that's where for me, once again, you guys could do this to me all the time. Like, I should temper my expectations with Osimhen, and I'll tell you fuck off. You could tell me to fuck off.
No, but it's as much as
like, the word. If you're gonna speak to me about Verts, then I'm just like, the one thing I will always say about the way that Edwards moves is normally he moves in a manner where he's already built the relationship before he actually moves. Like, and almost every fashion that I've ever seen with any of the players that have actually been successful that he's bought in, he's already built in a relationship with them and had the building blocks of getting that player to get that player over the line. And everybody knew he's going to Liverpool. Like, that's it. You're going to Liverpool. You know what I'm saying? And like with this, like, City's been looking for him, has been speaking to him for over a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, for over a year, they've been trying to get him. Bayern has been working on this deal. You know, since he stepped foot in the German team.
Yeah.
Since he stepped foot in the German team, they've been looking at him. Like,
right.
So like just from like if I'm talking about like where you stand, like your only hope is like you persuade him in a conversation to just go to Liverpool. In like a one singular conversation, you persuade him to go from here to here. I mean, he could go to City and play with Holland and Pep. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough sell in the end.
I don't think it's a tough sell. I think it's a tough agreement. But from the Liverpool perspective, just from what I've heard, I think it's difficult, but it's not as difficult as I think your tone is suggesting it to be. I think Bayern's problem is that Bayern doesn't want to sign off to agree to give up those funds this summer. I think that's the biggest thing. I think another thing is that Leverkusen isn't or tries to be different from the rest of the Prem or the Bundesliga, I should say. Sorry. And when they do their sales in the Bundesliga, they don't like selling to Bayern. And with them winning the league recently, I don't think they're going to want to do that now. If you look at the average transfer,
there's a lot of turnover coming around. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of turnover, yes. And there's a new manager. And I think giving him funds that don't necessarily strengthen your direct competitor is ideal for Leverkusen and their operation. But I
just think it's going to cost at least 30 million more for Bayern than it would for you.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. It's to me, if you really want my honest opinion, I think it's between you and City.
It is.
So but once again, like normally if you're going to beat your team, when your team beats another team out, okay? And I might be wrong, and you guys may have been speaking to him for way longer than I know.
Yeah, and I don't know either, so I'm not going to.
So I don't want to give you that intention, but from my understanding, you guys recently entered into the race. Okay, that's just my understanding. If you pull it off, hey, kudos to you. But I wouldn't put my eggs into you guys pulling it off just based off of the way that things normally happen, the team that makes the most groundwork normally wins the race, unless you're willing to spend more. Like that's just like the way things go in this window. Okay, that's the way things go in these transfer things. You are being talked to and scouted for years, for over a year most of the time, before you actually have like a transfer of that size go through. Like majority of the time. And like for you, it's like you guys may have been in like scouted him at least. I mean, there's no doubt you guys were scouting him, okay? Because he was at Xabi, because he was on Xabi Alonso's team, because you guys thought you guys were gonna get Xabi Alonso last year, right? Like before you got Arnie, that was probably your number one target. So I'm sure that you guys were over there looking at what Xabi Alonso had at that team, right? Like I'm sure.
And Leverkusen trained at La Axa after we played them. They stayed an extra day and trained at the facilities. So
I mean, but that could be but like we know that you're watching that team, you're buying Frimpong. Like, you know what I'm saying? So exactly. like to me, like that isn't like that far off, but also like you know that City's been talking to this guy for like the last year. So you can turn his head, then you guys turned his head from City, then great. But like that's what it's gonna take, right? Like I think that's what it's gonna take. It's going to be like you guys have to entice him that this is going to be his project after Salah leaves, and that's what's going to entice him to get there.
Yeah.
And you got to sell him. You don't know how long Pep's going to be here. Like, that's what you got. Those are the two things you got to sell him. Like, you're the face. You're going to be the face here, and you know your manager's going to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you know your manager's going to be here. You have the opportunity to grow. You've seen what he did with Gravenberch, and you know that we're going to continue to build on this.
And we're going to get you a striker too that you're going to be able to play off of. Like
exactly,
and you're going to be able to score goals off of. Because look what he did for Marmoush in Bundesliga. Like he gave Marmoush a living in he was feeding Marmoush off the like. And when you're talking
hold on.
Hugo, I'm thinking Hugo. There's no way you guys don't get another striker.
No, you're right, but I'm glad you mentioned Hugo. I didn't want to transition to him just yet, but I don't think Hugo's the marquee signing. I do think they're going for something bigger than Hugo. But continue on your Hugo point.
I think with the money that you're going to have to spend for him, it's going to be the marquee signing.
I think we're going to spend more money. We're going to spend more money on a transfer than just Hugo, unless we buy like 7 players.
I just don't see your club doing that. I just don't. I mean, you might buy, I think, 4 to 5 at most. 5.
Kirkes, Frimpong, Hugo is 3 that are not confirmed, but those are more than likely going to happen. Those are the 3. We're looking at Wharton. We're looking at Simons. We're looking at Wirtz. If we get 2 of those, that's 5.
Like I said, you spending $300 million in a window.
But Chiesa is leaving. Elliott might leave. Nunez is gone.
I know, but
if we sell Jota,
once again, Link, I asked you the question again. Liverpool spending $300 million in one window.
I understand all of these things, and that's why I don't.
Even with sales.
No, but it's because sales are going to happen. That's why I think, because like even without the sales, we need 4 players. That's my point. So either we buy 4 players and the value of those 4 players is up in transfer value, and we do what you suggested off camera, where we bring up Trey and we bring up Rio, right?
Or Bacic.
I still think Bacic, but that's 3 players right there. But I still think 300 mil is going to get spent before you put into the net of transfers out.
I disagree.
I think 250 to 300 is going to get spent.
I disagree.
All right.
Because
we spent 200. We spent 200 3 windows.
Right? Let's just say this. Let's hold off for a second. Okay. 35. Let's say 40 for Frimpong.
Frimpong's 35, and it's only 6 a year. So 6.
That's not how that works. It's still overall transfer budget is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about overall transfer value of the actual
35.
Okay, so it's 35. Okay. You're not Simicast. What you're gonna sell Simicast, right?
Say 15 if you want to go on the lower end.
Okay.
Even though we sell well. So 15, so that's 20.
Okay. So then you're bringing in Kirkus for that position.
That's 45. 65.
Okay. No midfielders are probably being sold outside of what? Endo
and Elliott. You can put them together as 50.
Endo, you'll get what?
10, maybe
Okay.
15.
So we're at 50, right?
Yeah.
And then Elliott is a special scenario because of it being like full FFP, but like for full pure profit. Let's just ignore that for a second. And let's just say you sell him for the same price you sold Carvalho for, around 25 to 30 million.
He'll go for more than Carvalho is English tax. Elliott's going for minimum 35, bro.
I just don't know where you think you're gonna get that.
How much did Fulham play for Emil Smith Rowe last year?
30.
Harvey Elliott has more on his CV.
But he barely played, just like Smith Rowe.
No, he played more than Smith Rowe because he has like 27 appearances. Harvey Elliott has game time and he has footage. There's height behind Harvey Elliott. 35.
All right, 35.
Say 30. Say 30. We don't have to argue over 5 mil.
So
30.
So you're about evening out here. You're at like 20 million.
We're at
with
20
Kelleher,
million.
With Kelleher, you're about evening out. That's even. Between those players, those are even. All that's even.
Just to track this for the sake of the argument, what incomings have you already signed off on?
I've just done backline, and you're
so name the incomings.
The incomings?
Frimpong and Kirkus.
Just Frimpong and Kirkus.
Okay, so we're even.
Literally, we're at even with the sales of your backline.
Yep.
Okay. It's gonna take a Diaz sale, or Diaz or Nunez, one of the two, right? For about 7.
Well, Nunez is guaranteed. It might be both, but
I
Nunez
doubt
is
it'll be
guaranteed.
both. But let me, because you'd have to buy a whole nother winger on top of that, which I
don't think it's Diaz. I think Nunez and Jotas might both leave, but Nunez for sure. How much do you want to put on the Nunez value?
60.
60.
If you get, he's the only place he's going to is sought that he can go to.
Right. No, you're right. I want to make sure I'm on the same page. I'm 60 in the red or in the black. I'm 60 in the black right now.
You're 60 in the black right now.
Okay.
Let's just say Hugo.
That's Hugo. Hugo's going to cost 60 plus add-ons, 70 plus add-ons. So you can say 10.
They want 80.
Huh?
They want 80.
70 plus add-ons.
Okay. So we're 10 in the negative.
We're 10 in the negative.
Wirtz. Let's just say Wirtz is the person.
130.
Okay.
140 in the negative.
Where are you spending your money?
Wharton or Cherky?
I really doubt you get both Cherky and Wirtz.
If we get Wirtz,
you're not spending more than 200.
No, we're not. No,
even with Wharton, you're not spending more than 200.
Hold on.
Even if you, this is every target you wanted.
Hold on. Slow down. I messed up. If we get Hugo, we don't get Cherky and Wirtz. It would be Hugo or Cherky. If we're getting Hugo in this scenario, Wirtz would be a buy, and then we would be looking at Wharton. But that would be
even with
negative 200.
Bro, you're not even hitting 200.
That's 60 from 140. Yes, it is. That's 200.
No, it's 130 because what are you talking about? I'm at 130.
We were at negative 10 from the Hugo deal.
Right, and the 90. from 90. I'm saying 90 for Wirtz. From 10 to 9 minus 90. That's one.
I said 120.
100.
I was saying 120.
You're not going to spend 120 on Wirtz.
Wirtz is looking like 120 minimum, bro.
No, it's 120 just for Bayern, bro. That's what the deal is. That's why
thought
City's offering them. City, from my understanding, it's going to be about 85 to 90 for City, 120 for Bayern. That's the difference. That's why it's the difference.
So what I've read is that Leverkusen wants 150, and this might just be a currency thing that we're doing right now. But Leverkusen wants 150 from Bayern, and Liverpool is willing to pay up to 126.
Okay. Even then, you're still at like 180, 190.
Exactly.
Still not close to 300. If you got every target that you wanted, every single one, that's every target that you wanted, bro. You just listed them off. Every target that you wanted, you still didn't spend 200 million.
Oh, two caveats. Did I say before this, because I'm a little lit right now, did I say before this it was that 200 net, or did I say 200 before transfers out?
That's nearly irrelevant.
No, it's not, because that's 300 if you take out the sales we did, right? But the next thing is
you said net, by the way, but yes,
but you know what I'm saying? That's
irrelevant. Like because what my thought process is of how you guys move is based off of how much you're going to be able to sell, really. And like, there's still so many questions about what you're going to be able to sell.
And we have the most, not the most important, but the next biggest question is, what did we do at center back? So in this perfect world, we still have to address my center back situation.
Correct.
So it's very.
Like being sold. Like Joe Gomez wants to leave. Like
that's two. Konate's not signing a new contract. So are we getting 4 new center backs in the next 3 windows?
That's what I'm saying, bro. I just don't see it. I just don't see all of this happening. And it makes sense now. Now that we put this into perspective, though, it makes sense why you guys are so busy.
Yeah, we have to get deals done.
You have to be busy. Like, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah,
like, you really don't have a choice. There's so many problems with what's going on with your club right now, and not necessarily problems. There's going to be some disgruntlement within the club between Diaz's contract, between Joe Gomez's playing time, between Konate not signing, between probably Kwanzaa being disgruntled for not playing. Like, you're winning, so it covers it all up, right? You're winning, it covers it all up. But there is like serious underlying problems within the entire club at this current moment, which is kind of like where things are going.
Joey, imagine if those two didn't sign.
Yeah. Yeah, you might have like one of our seasons. Like that's where if those two didn't sign, you might have had like a 12th season, bro.
This is why I feel like my theory, and they'll tell us about it in a book in 20 years. But this is why my theory is correct, because they looked at the situation, and once they realized Trent wasn't signing, they looked, oh shit, we're already gonna lose we're gonna lose 7-8 players in the next 2 years. We're gonna be fucked if these two don't sign. We need to make sure they're still here. So,
well, that's all, folks. We've gone for more than we normally go for.
We weren't scheduled to go for this long. This was supposed to be a 30-minute show.
Yeah, but we could talk about transfers all day, and we probably will do another show. I'll probably actually go live on Saturday just for the fuck of it.
Okay.
For shit. But yeah, maybe during the games, I'll fucking throw the games on. We'll just shoot the shit on Saturday. I'll have an open stream for everybody to kind of jump on if they want to talk about shit. So, yeah. Everyone, Knicks in 6.